hit. Okay, there it goes. It says we're live. I have
We
a
are
picture
live.
now. Are words coming
There you
through
go.
good? Test.
Yep.
Rock on. All right. Welcome back to Side Quest Trio. This week we watched Jake won the wheel spinny for the show, so we watched Cyberpunk. Uh, this one I think was 2022 or 23 when it came out.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, so super crazy popular one. 3 years ago, it made a dog shit game extremely popular. So that was
Yeah,
cool.
again.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't dog. It launched like dog shit, but
Yeah, after the couple of fixes they came out with over the years, it ended up being an overall okay game.
yeah. Well, I played it on launch day and have never tried it again, so my experiences were nothing but bad with it.
Ooh.
Yeah. But yeah, so we watched Cyberpunk. Jake has the first three, so if y'all don't have anything for the no, Izzy has the first three. My bad. If y'all don't have
Unless
anything
you
for
got
the
the first
intro,
three.
No, I do not. I was like, I hope I didn't get that wrong because I
my
do not
bad.
have the first three notes done.
My bad. I think
Oh,
I
you're
guess I
good.
was confusioned.
Don't apologize. Be careful.
Yeah, good point. Oh, Izzy,
But yeah,
take
this
her
is my
away.
second time watching the show. The first time I got recommended to it by a buddy, Danny. It was pretty good. It was not what I thought it was gonna be. The show is set in the Cyberpunk universe. That yes, it was based from the game, but this whole story is like a standalone thing. It's its own characters, own part of the world.
Yeah, if I
But
remember correctly, I think Cyberpunk is based off a tabletop game. If if I'm
I believe you are correct.
Yeah, that's where the
really,
original lore came from. It was like a
Yeah.
tabletop game in like the 80s or 90s, I think. So that's where CD Projekt Red got the license to make a
Yeah.
video game. Was from the
Yeah. It was a
tabletop.
tabletop. It was a tabletop role playing game in the 80s.
Okay.
that's cool. Well, Netflix picked up the show and animated it, made the this whole Edge Runner series, and you start off pretty gory. It's Night City is the location. You have a lot of like economical, like societal issues between like high, like really high people and then like pretty much homeless or just
Yeah.
poor people.
Yeah. It's
But
like large gaps. Large gaps.
yeah, a lot of the world is like advanced, technologically advanced at this point, 2077. I guess it's their like eye in the future of what they think it'll look like. A lot of VR simulation within the first couple like cuts through the city. Um, most of these characters in the first couple episodes end up being in the same spots, which just like it's wild. It's like, oh, this dude's been here for a couple days, just doing the same thing. But
Oh yeah, you talking about
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, a couple of pedestrians just out on the road, doing pedestrian things, I guess.
Yeah, they're
But
definitely not doing pedestrian things.
in this world, it
Definitely
seems
not.
like,
In this world, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty normal for this, I guess.
yeah. So you have a lot of corruption, a lot of just brain rot, I guess is the word, controlling the world. And you have this one character, David Martinez. He's attending a prestigious academy, and it's like he's hanging off by the skin on his teeth. Like, man's getting bullied pretty intensely. Um, he is a child to Gloria Martinez. It's just a single EMT working mom trying to make ends meet so he can go to school and make a name for himself. But um, David, trying to, I guess, avoid financial situation, couldn't download that year's like cyber curriculum. I think it was
I
the
think it was
key
his
or something.
headset that was out of date.
Yeah, he like jerry rigged it to make it work, just to make it
Mm.
work with like back end website, like black market stuff. And I think the whole room links up to this software, and it just made everybody's headsets, which is like an eyepiece that they're wearing, just uh, fry. And it seems like everybody has implantations or implants for communication, so like cell phone usage between people. Thought that was
Yeah, it's like all in their
interesting.
head. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have a call by like thinking of the person. I don't know how you base that, but yeah, they're just bullying him and blaming him for everything because um the main, I guess the character for that episode, what was his name? I think it started with a T.
Something Tanaka.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
well
like yeah, it's I forgot what his
he
fucking name
starts
is.
beating on him just because he's like just telling him off that he's not any good for that school, that he should just stick to what he knows what to do. And towards this part, oh, I think it was Monday when I watched this first episode. But it was mostly just setting up the world of Cyber or Night City and showing you all the stuff that goes on there. Then okay. Is this before? I think it was before. When they have the accident, Gloria is driving a car and then they get sandwiched in between a scenario that is just common. It's like common crime, I guess, in Night City. Things just happen out of nowhere, and they get sandwiched between those vehicles. They're just shooting at each other, and they get into a wreck. But she passes away, and pretty much everything goes downhill for David. He has her cremated, and then already struggling with funds for rent is evicted, but had one bag left from his mom's belongings and saw that it was some gear, and he goes to look at it, and he's talking to one of his I guess buddies, the guy that sold him the sideways
Yeah, Rupert
software,
Doc.
Mm.
yep, and was just going off on how he messed them up, but he was also trying to make some quick money selling the what was it called, the
Sandavistan.
Sandavistan cyberware.
Yeah.
It's like a spinal implant that just enhances you physically, um,
Yeah, basically,
pretty much in every way.
it basically makes your reflexes like crazy quick. So, like in the show, they make it look like he's slowing down time around him, but really he's just moving so fast that people can't perceive him.
Yeah, and this is like military grade cyberware that at the beginning of the show there was a guy, ripped dude, like he was like true hard criminal. He was just
Actually, he was
tearing up
not.
the police. Yeah, but he
He
was tearing
was
up.
he was a high level military guy, and he was getting that Sandavistan tested on him, and it made him go crazy.
Yeah. He got
Right.
cyber psychosis. Went fucking wild.
Yeah, but yeah, he was going against the police. That's how it opened. Before learning, and then yeah, you just see the scene of him taking out the cops. He's taking bullets. He uses the like time warp effect to take out a couple of them, but there's a limitation to how many times a warrior can use it. It seems like no more than like two or three. But within the first bit that David has it, um he rips it pretty much.
Yeah, he
Just uses it
used it
for.
8 times.
8 times in one day.
hmm Um, then we have. Oh, the thing that stuck out the most was that they really care about their healthcare like premiums in this world, like hardcore.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Whenever like if you have healthcare, like in something happens or you get hurt, like a spaceship just like immediately comes and drops down and
Yeah,
takes care of you. They call it the trauma unit.
Yeah, trauma
Yeah,
team.
and it's wild because
trauma
that's where the
team.
mom worked too. So you'd think that she'd have like work benefits or
Guess
something.
not. Guess
Not.
fucking not.
I was like, dang, they straight up just left him on the street because I mean, David was tied upside down in the car, crying for his mom because I mean she was outside of the car and wasn't moving.
Laying down, dead
Yeah,
as fuck. Well, not
but
dead yet, I guess.
that last doctor they went to that helped them out, he was like something else himself. He was like straight up butcher looking scary movie guy.
Yeah,
Just
dude,
wearing
he
an
fucking was like in
apron.
a full body suit. He's coming out with a mask on. I'm like, what
Yeah.
are you doing in that fucking doctor in that doctor's office, big dog?
But yeah, they also can't help her because of the insurance. He can't pay for it, so she ends up passing away. And yeah, he gets her um ashes and breaks into his apartment, stays there for a little bit, and then says, "You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna put on this gear. Like it's the only thing that I can do." Goes to his I guess it's his implant doctor,
Ripper
Yeah, it's Rip
Doc.
trying
Doc.
trying to get it on, and the doctor's like, "No, you know people are gonna be looking for that." And then just I guess because of the edge of the thought of implanting this, it's like a one in a million thing you'll never see. So he's like, "Yeah, screw it. Let's go ahead and do it." Um,
Yeah, I think the deal they made was he'd put it in him, but when he goes psycho, the Ripper Doc gets to keep the Sandy.
right. What did you guys think about the first episode? There were a lot of things introduced. I mean, and then also your thoughts, I guess, from the game and the show immediately.
So I can't speak too much for the game. Like I said, I played it
I
on
can't
the
hear.
day it launched, and it was horrible. But as far from what I know about Night City, like it's the only rule of law in Night City is money and who you're tied to. So there's three main factions. There's like the street gangs, which I can't remember all their names. There's the corpos, which are the megacorps, like Arasaka, Militech. There's a couple more, but Arasaka and Militech are really the only two players in this series. And then there's the nomads. So the dude who drives all the people, he's a nomad. Um, so that's like the three main guys, and then it's like all that matters is how rich you are or who you're tied to. So they set it up pretty good because it's like it shows the disparity immediately between like David's classmates who are all, Arasaka corporate kids, and
Yeah.
then him, which it's, I mean, you know, like you said with the trauma team stuff. As soon as his mom was laying flat on the street, and the literal trauma team just walks over her to go get to the guy that was in the crossfire in the nicer car in front of him between them and the like street gang. So, um, yeah, I think it sets it up like super well,
Yeah,
like lore wise, at least to what the original creator of the tabletop game represented and what I can vaguely remember from watching videos about it before the game came out, what's fucking 5 years ago.
yeah, there
Mhm.
it definitely really portrays well the disdain between how big of a gap there is. You're either really fucking rich or you're really fucking poor. That's really about it. And I love the world building in this because it just seems like the city's just full. It's a huge city, tons of people there. It seems like there's always, something happening. Like whenever he was going home from school with his mom right before they get in the wreck, and that fucking building is on fire,
Mm,
and
yeah.
and so there's always something happening. Guys just on the street with the sucker thing.
Yeah.
They're all just like slumped back like this, like groups. And they're just, you know, yeah. It's
Watch it. You'll know what he's talking about immediately.
yeah. And so, and the music selection, by the way, is fucking awesome in this
Yes.
anime.
Mhm.
They did a great job. The animation ties very well with the world itself. The animation style is fits it perfectly to a T. Episode one's awesome. They did a very good job of bringing in, I guess, bringing you in to speed on what Night City is really like. Kind of like a shithole if you're not really rich.
Yep. Always hustling for that dollar
Yeah,
by any
yeah.
means. Yeah. I liked it a lot. Very vivid colors throughout the whole show, but when you first come in, it's like it's pretty nice. Then we have episode 2, Let It Down or Let You Down. Oh wait.
Episode two is like a boy, like a
Yeah,
boy.
yeah. Like a boy. David meets Lucy, which is a girl that he had, I guess, had felt around, I guess, out of the corner of his eye type of situation.
Yeah, he saw her walking to
And
school that day.
no, it almost was like a mirage or like a dream for him. He just felt her presence. And she's very mysterious. She's a confident net runner with a dream of going to the moon, is her character. Lucy tests David's physical capability with the Sandevistan, and then yeah, the montage of train hopping. So they start pickpocketing people's chips, and that's where she sees his limits and how he does as I guess, an initiate of the group. He doesn't know there's a full group
Yeah.
yet, but that's a good test for him to get in. Um, then she takes him to the crew, and that's when it starts to get serious. And they connect, Lucy and him during the ride, kind of just having an intimate bonding moment. Um, but when they get to her place, the crew is surprised that David's wearing the gear, and they start beating him up. And Lucy, you see a cut of a panel of her just like sucking on a lollipop, like she played him. She
Mm.
got him to go up to her place and then get beat up. They start to question everything, and she explains how he can use the suit well. I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, I'll help you out. I can't pay for it, but uh, I want to do what I can. And the leader, he agrees. And then he is a part of the Edge Runner crew. His name is Maine, the
Yeah,
big
man.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maine like the state.
Yeah. And he begins to learn the rule. David begins to learn the rules of the mercenary subculture and how they have factions. And his first job is running distraction with the Sandevistan. And David earns some respect in this episode as well. And then just reading through these bullet points that made sense at the time, but it's like,
Yeah, after a week and you haven't
huh,
seen it.
yeah.
Yeah, well, go back real quick. When they were in the room, she like they're called BDs. I can't remember what that stands for in universe terms, but like they're in a BD of him and Lucy like chilling on the moon, and then all of a sudden like they're hanging out. It's like a sweet moment, and then you hear Maine go, "You just fell over the edge, kid," and like wakes him up by punching the shit out of him. And that's like how he gets introduced to the main crew. And it turns out that his mom was supposed to sell Maine the Sandevistan, and that's kind of how he gets connected with them. Is he's like, I can use it really well. Let me be part of the crew and pay off the Sandevistan since you already paid for it. You know, I can't give it to you, but I can make myself useful to you. So you basically kind of have it.
So, by the way, real quick, BD stands for brain dance.
Oh, okay.
So it's a technology that records a person's experiences, and basically you can it's chip or glasses or whatever, and you can basically experience that person's memories. Um, so yeah,
Like an avatar where they like
Oh, where they like
interlink.
scissor with their
yeah,
tails.
Yeah, their
yeah, and
braids.
they kiss with their tails.
Yeah, I rewatched that the other day because that new one's coming out, and I was like, I don't remember the tails being that vividly like
Hey man,
tentacly.
that movie's
It's
hippie
fucking
propaganda,
gross,
brother.
dude. It is, dude. That's fucking the bourgeoisie,
Just like the pigeons.
just like the
Yeah.
pigeons. What do you mean? You mean the fucking government propaganda robots?
Um, let's see, what else did we have? Wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, when he's doing that dance and the subtitles come on, it hurts me so bad whenever they change the like where they just like intersect or like throw text on a screen and it's like in different directions and
Oh,
I'm
you
trying
talking
to
about
like
when
piece it
Maine says he
together.
fell over the edge?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, that shit was awesome.
It looks good, but every time I'm trying to read it, I don't know if they're saying that or not, and then it's just everywhere, and then they cut to a different thing, it's like somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, it's intense, but it definitely gave you that effect of what was going on. But
yeah.
cool character.
Yeah, episode two was really cool. I liked episode two because, like, you of course you meet the crew and everything. At first Lucy doesn't really know that he has the Sandevistan until like he passes out basically from using it too much. He gets put into a hospital or into an ambulance to be taken to a doctor's office, and she's like, "Oh my God!" Like the paramedics like, "Oh shit, dude! This is some fucking serious shit that he's got on right now." And then that's when Lucy realizes what it is, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Maine, I knew you've been looking for this thing. I'm gonna trap him in my apartment by showing him the moon." And fucking Maine just comes in, kicks his fucking ass real quick, like, and then
Oh,
he's like, and then that's when you start meeting everybody and all the different characters, and so it's kind of like your first introduction to all, everybody that you're gonna basically see the rest of the episode for most of the
the rest of
series.
this series. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say most. There's one that
The
you'll see. There's
scene,
two that you'll see for most.
yeah.
Three that you'll
Nope.
Two that you'll see for most.
The scene where she does break out of the hospital with him still on the bed and just like whips it through the road.
Mm.
Solid.
I think
Fuck yeah.
episode two kind of goes further into the fact of like how there is no loyalty in Night City. It is just to money. Like this whole episode, you think, oh, David and Lucy, they're gonna be, you know, they're gonna grow close. This is the budding romance, and then episode two ends by like completely squashing that idea because she's like, oh yeah, no, I just needed you to turn you over to my boss basically because he pays me.
Yeah. Like and I was whenever I was rewatching because I've obviously saw this years ago or a couple years ago. So whenever I was rewatching it, I was like, I forgot this entire fucking episode, and I was like, I don't remember Lucy and David getting that together this quick. And then Maine comes and busts his ass, and I was like, okay, now I remember this.
Yeah. Um, what else do we have? Smooth Criminal, episode 3. He begins to learn the rules. Yep. Downfall. Yeah, I think I covered most of that for sure.
Yeah, the episode three is basically the beginning of episode three is whenever you meet the entire crew.
Yeah.
That's whenever like
That's when he gets taken on the first job and he like slowly gets integrated into their crew as the test. He earns some, some reputation. And then at the end of episode 3 is when they're at the gas station, is celebrating a job well done, and Faraday shows up.
Yeah, because in this episode, this is whenever because you find out that Gloria was working for Maine, uh, and since he's trying to be nice to Gloria's kid, he knows who this person was. He feels bad that his mom just died, kinda, and he's like, you know what, I'll give you a chance. And so it basically goes on like a montage where they're doing some small jobs and shit like that, and then that's whenever I guess I don't know what was the job that they were doing in this episode that when Faraday comes in.
They were hijacking a car at the
it's
bar.
a heist. Yeah, it's a heist to steal navigation data from a driver of an Arasaka driver. Yeah.
Oh, big sumo looking dude.
Yeah, and that's whenever you meet Rebecca, which is one of my favorite characters. She's fucking awesome. Because is she part of the crew originally, or is she like? Because I remember.
She's Pilar's.
Okay, because I didn't know if she was part of the crew or if she was like the owner of that. Huh?
She wasn't in episode 2. You don't see her till 3.
Yeah, you don't see her in episode 2. You only see her till episode 3, and she was like at the bar, and I thought maybe she was like the owner or the bartender or something like that.
People who bust in during episode 2 are Maine, Dorio, and Pilar.
Is Kiwi there too?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
So yeah, episode 3 is basically him.
Welcome to the gang.
Part of the crew. Yeah.
Dope.
Welcome aboard, brother.
Yeah, episode 3. There's not really a lot of nuance to it. It's like y'all said, it's just the test, and then. But I will say though, episode 3 is pretty good for learning a little bit more about Maine, because Maine might be the only motherfucker in the city that genuinely cares about his crew. Like, he might be the only person in Night City that cares about more than just money, because like, David's surprised by how much of a cut he gets from the job, and Maine says it's an even split for all those in the job, no matter how much one person did. Like, Maine takes the same amount, David gets the same amount, Becca, everybody gets the same amount if they were involved in the job. That's kind of how Maine rolls. So it's a good episode to learn more about the leader of the Edge Runners, because Maine's like genuinely a good dude.
A good guy. He's an actual good guy.
He's a good guy when it comes to loyalty. He's not a good guy.
Yeah, when it comes to his crew, of course, he kills a lot of people, but I mean, that's just fucking, Night City.
Yep.
That's just the way it is. And Faraday is called a fixer. Yeah. So he's basically the guy that gives Maine and his crew work. And he's basically hired by these big corporations like Arasaka and Militech, basically to fix problems that they have. And so he's the middleman between the corporation and these edge runners to get the dirty work done. And so at the end, that's when you meet Faraday. He's basically pissed off.
Yeah, he's a prick.
He's a fucking dick. Fuck Faraday. All my homies hate Faraday.
And Kiwi. Fuck that bitch.
And Kiwi. Fuck Kiwi too. We don't know about that yet, but yeah, fuck Kiwi.
Yeah, when we get there, it's basically all her fault if you think about it.
Yeah, it is all her fault.
Well, is there anything else on 1, 2, or 3?
The action is pretty gory. But I mean,
it's real fucking gory, yeah.
Yeah, it's what you expect. Not really anything held back. The dub was pretty good. How they did everything, the emotions there. Like I said, the scenes just look very vivid, very nice, very cyberpunk feel. Like it has that.
I'm surprised that it's a Netflix original and how much gore there is and how many tits there are. Like, it being Netflix,
for some reason.
Yeah, they're like a blue color, and I'm like, maybe because like whenever she goes into her net space or whatever, she's in like an ice bath, and so I'm like, maybe she's just real fucking cold. Maybe her fucking nips are blue, but no, like in one scene, like she's just out in the open with her tits dangling, and they're just fucking rock solid blue. So that's the weirdest shit. But I was very surprised about how much gore and how explicit this is for being a Netflix original. I thought that was kind of cool, or crazy. Cool too, yeah.
Yeah.
But you kind of need all of those things.
Yeah, it establishes
Like,
what that city is and what that world
like,
really is. Like
yeah,
it's
it's
that
a
far
very
into that stuff that there's not
like
really much you
it's
can get out of.
yeah, it's something you kind of can't not have to explain how the world is in
Yeah,
this
if the themes behind this
universe.
show would be kind of I don't know, kind of bullshit if like they censored out all the gore, if like it wasn't people just getting shot up, if it was just like, oh, they get knocked out or something like that,
Yeah, like you have to have it in this to really explain how the world is, and so I'm glad that they did incorporate all of the gore and all the fucking just everything that they put into it. Yeah, so
I like the idea of the cyberware and the upgrades. How the first guy that went psycho, he had the implants where like his knee was just a straight up like shiv and just split a dude in half.
yeah,
Then you have the like
yeah,
mantis arm, it just like attacks. But all the
oh
weapons you
yeah,
can put in yourself.
yeah, like any part of your body, you can basically make mechanicalized. I said that right.
Yeah.
You can basically make it into a weapon. Fucking anything. Your spine, your fucking shins, probably your fucking eyeballs. You can do everything, anything you want.
Yeah, Maine's got a fucking rocket launcher in his arm.
Just sick.
Yeah, and Faraday's got fucking three eyeballs on one side. Gay boy, fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Well, so episode 4 is called Lucky You. I wrote down all the episode titles this time so you don't have to
I was
repeat
gonna say I
them.
have him up just in case,
Nice.
dude. I got
So
him up.
the episode opens with David fully integrated into Maine's crew, but David is calling Maine nonstop because he doesn't want any money. He just wants more like Merc experience.
Yeah,
So
experience, yeah.
Training. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Maine ends up calling Lucy and he's like, "Hey, it's your problem. You brought him." And like there's a short montage of like him actually getting jobs from Maine and then him also training with Lucy at like night. But the first job that isn't like montaged, I guess really the first job in general too, is he's got to deliver a package to Pilar. And if you haven't seen anything on the show, you've probably seen this scene all over TikTok. It's where Rebecca answers the door with a gun and points at Dave. And she's like, "Oh, David, what's up, Choom?" You know, I'm talking like that scene.
Yeah,
Yep.
And
yeah.
so anyway, he delivers these arms to Pilar, and his first job goes well. And he's like surprised by how much a tip is from Rebecca for doing a job well done. It ends up being some like, black market cyber arms or something crazy. I can't remember.
Mm.
And after the
Something normal for them.
do it.
Something normal. Crazy
Yeah,
to
something
us.
normal.
Crazy to us, normal for them.
After the delivery, okay, yeah, after the delivery is when Maine tells Lucy to take in the stray was his exact words, and there's that's when they start training, and he's using his Sandevistan like fucking crazy during this little montage, and uh then David visits the Ripper dock and receives some new chrome, I think to run faster, but it's not specified what exactly
It's
it
new
is.
knees, like knees or legs or something. I forgot, but yeah.
And then cut to after his montage and all the stuff, and he's walking down the street with the whole crew, and they walk past the guy who's taking a piss, and Pilar confronts him, is like, "Hey man, why are you pissing near our hideout? We don't want our hideout to smell like piss." And unfortunately, this guy who's taking a piss is a cyber psycho, and he blows Pilar's head smooth off
Move off, dude. That
immediately.
motherfucker.
So obviously the crew all jumps into action, and David's the one who ends up popping a cap in the psycho's head. And if I remember correctly, this is the first person David ends up killing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Do you want to explain cyber psychosis real
yeah.
quick?
So cyber psychosis happens. So I'll refer back to the game real quick because the game does it kind of a decent way of explaining it. The show kind of does, but basically it's a person who has too many cyberware implants. It fucks with your brain and it makes you go insane. You don't know what's going on. you go crazy, and most times you end up just going on a murderous rampage. And in the game, like obviously there's a counter on the side that says like, "Hey, here's your cyberware counter." Each person's different, but if you think about it in game terms, it's like you have a point scale from 1 to 10, and each piece of equipment is like worth X amount of points. And if you go over 10 in the game, you can't implant it, but in the world, you'd go crazy. So like, if you think about it like that.
Yeah, and they have pills and stuff that reduces the effects.
They're called immunoblockers, and they only work for so long. Unfortunately, during my set of episodes, you'll see how long they don't work. So anyway,
and it's a lot you got to take too.
Yeah, you got to take them every day. So if you don't take them every day, it just speeds up the process. Because David, well, that's why the Ripper Doc was shocked that David used it 8 times, his Sandevistan, because the Ripper Doc didn't give him any immunosuppressants because, David didn't have the money. But anyway, let's see here. Lucy's hurt during this, and David is told to take her to a Ripper Doc with Kiwi. And let's see here. Kiwi leaves and tells David to drive her home, and they talk in the car. David's like, "Hey man, what the hell was all that about? Turning me over to Maine." Anyway, they have like a kind of a bonding moment because David asked her if it really is true that she wants to go to the moon and why he showed her that, and she's like, "I don't know. I've never showed anybody, and nobody in the crew knows that my goal is to get to the moon one day." Because being the edge runner isn't the life she wants, and then she tells David that she doesn't want him to be a edge runner either because it's not the death he deserves, implying that if you're going to be a merc, there's only one way this ends. And anyway, they end up going up on a roof somewhere, and at the end of the episode, they kiss each other, and they're all lovey-dovey somewhat now. So.
And they kissed, which, by the way, one of the very few animes to where they actually get together pretty early and they kiss, and they're not just holding hands and freaking out about it.
Oh yeah, I think it's a little more mature than say like My Dress Up Darling, for example.
20 minutes of blushing.
Fucking you know what, dude?
Or Too Many Losing Heroines, where it's just 12 episodes of, maybe they'll do it this episode.
Dan to Dan, they're touching hands a little bit.
Yeah. Or Dan, that's a good example.
They're like, "Oh my god, he's touching my hand."
Yeah, but episode 4 is kind of the necessary in between major story beats episode. It's like David training montage, him and Lucy growing together, growing closer, and him just becoming more and more of a central part of the crew. Right, like it's
and Pilar's fucking missing head.
Yeah, it's the necessary slow it down a little bit episode minus the cyber psycho that kills Pilar.
Yeah.
So anyway, anything on episode 4, fellas? Y'all got any comments, questions, or
concerns? Yeah, well, the only thing is, I was just gonna say that episode 4 does really, I think the main part or the main reason for episode 4 is when Pilar dies, because that's showing that anybody could die at any second for any fucking reason. Safe. It's just some homeless guy pissing, and he's like, "Hey, dude, stop pissing." Goosh, smooth dead. I mean, it just shows that you can die like that. So that's episode 4. That's why I think that was the entirety of the reason for this.
Yep. All right, so episode 5 is All Eyes on Me. Eyes with a Z for some reason. Episode opens with Maine offering Pilar's arms to David. He decides against it and says he's eyeing Maine's cyber arms. And Maine says, "Well, whenever I kick the bucket, they're all yours." Foreshadowing.
Ooh.
Kiwi is trying to find some information on Tanaka, but is unable to find anything. But while she's diving into that, this is the navigation data they stole, by the way, that she's diving into. She does find out some backstory about David, how he was in class at Arasaka and how Arasaka kind of wants him back. But more importantly, she finds out that Tanaka, the guy that they're actually after, the high up Arasaka exec, is super into BDs of people dying. Like,
Yeah, like
super into them. And these BDs that he's into are produced by somebody named JK, which David knows who JK is because at the beginning of the show, he was pushing these BDs that JK created to people out of school to make a little bit extra cash. So David tells the crew that he's familiar with JK, and it stands for Jimmy something.
Jimmy Kurosaki.
Jimmy Kurosaki. So the crew finds out who this Jimmy Kurosaki is, and they plan to basically go kidnap him, for lack of a better term, really is what they try to do. So anyway, he's at a dinner, and in the parking lot they try to kidnap him, and Jimmy has some kind of like EMP that kind of fries all their brains because they're all using, they all have cyberware. But and Jimmy, I'm just gonna keep calling him JK ends up taking David with him while everybody else is like passed out. And so David then wakes up in a room full of bodies, and the cops show up and assume he's killed all the people and that he's a cyber psycho. He starts running away from him and runs outside, sees he's surrounded. He keeps running. And as anybody could have guessed, he's stuck inside a BD at this point. And JK wakes him up and tells him, like, hey, I'm going to make you keep experiencing your death through these BDs until you go crazy. And then I kill you, and then I take that Sandevistan. Everybody's after this fucking Sandevistan.
Yeah, everybody.
Oh.
And so anyway, luckily Lucy and Kiwi break in, and then, they have JK at gunpoint and like, hey, you're going to do what we say or you're dead and we're taking David. Well, JK has these like armed drones that show up and ends up basically the drones distract Lucy and Kiwi just long enough, right? But they're able to save David and take down the drones. It wasn't really a big threat at all, the way they made it sound. But anyway, they take JK with them, and they're taken back to Maine, and they talk JK into helping them get Tanaka. It didn't take much convincing because his options were help us get Tanaka or die. And so JK sets up a meeting with Tanaka, says he has some crazy new BD and that Tanaka needs to come get it. And Tanaka shows up, but instead of taking his like normal tuning for these BDs that JK does for his super rich clientele, he just says, hey, give me the BD, I'll take your standard edit, I need to go. Well, that's not the plan, so the crew busts in. There's a short scene of like gunfire and all this stuff. Tanaka gets injured, and JK dies. He gets some like spike in the throat or something that from some of Tanaka's cyberware, and they have Tanaka's signal jammed so that Arasaka doesn't know that he's injured, and so the trauma team doesn't know that he's injured. But what they weren't expecting was JK to have a platinum trauma team membership. So trauma team is now on their way because they weren't blocking JK's signal. And that's how the show ends, or this episode ends.
Yeah.
Is trauma team's on the way, and they got to get the hell out of Dodge because they have a super high up Arasaka exec that's dying, and some dude is dead. So if trauma team shows up and all these people are here, shit's gonna go down fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's episode 5 in a poorly explained nutshell, basically.
Yeah, episode 5 was really interesting. If let's just say Lucy and Kiwi didn't come and get David from JK, how that would absolutely suck, just sitting there in a BD watching yourself die over and over and over again.
and feeling it too.
And feeling it too. Because every BD, like any snuff BD that you experience, you're always experiencing someone else's memory, someone else's death. And so for him to be sitting there watching himself die and feel it every time, that would suck. That would
Yeah,
be not cool.
I'd say that'd make you go crazy way quicker than any fucking robot implant.
Yeah, I
Right.
gotta say, like probably like worst top 10 ways to go out.
Yeah.
Easily.
But
Yeah. So episode 5 was really good. I like that
episode
one.
5 was interesting. But episode 6, Girl on Fire, it opens with a younger Maine running in the desert. Maine is having some issues with the cyberware, and Kiwi is diving, trying to gather data on Tanaka. And she runs into some issues basically, and Maine's Maine's in the early stages of cyberpsychosis now, and he gets pissed off that Kiwi's hit a roadblock, and he punches her fucking face off. Like, she has some face mask. I thought he killed Kiwi
I thought he did too at
at the
first.
beginning of this episode. Spoiler alert, he doesn't, but he hurts her pretty damn good. And so David and Lucy show up, find out what happened, and they confront Maine. And Lucy decides to dive into Tanaka, but the conditions are David has to stay in the room with her, and Maine can't be in the room at all. And during the dive, Tanaka wakes up and pleads to David to stop and informs David that Arasaka sees him as a very valuable asset. Obviously, David does not listen. I mean, he kind of listens to him. He's getting flashbacks from his mom, but like obviously he ends up siding with Lucy and Maine. Maine and Dorio walk into the room, and Tanaka short circuits while Lucy is still jacked in, which is like, I don't know what the implications were if you are jacked into somebody who's dying, but they all rush to get Lucy out basically.
Yeah, they didn't really explain it.
Yeah, I don't know what the consequences are, but while in there, Lucy claims she found nothing. At least nothing as far as what Faraday gave him the job to do, but she did find out what Arasaka's plans were for David, which aren't fully explained until your set episodes, Jake, but it freaks her the fuck out. Like, her new job is now to make sure this doesn't happen. And so anyway, with Tanaka flatlining, the jammer gets fried, and Trauma Team is now on the way again. And Lucy wakes up, and they're all attempting to escape. And Lucy informs David that Tanaka was a bust and no real data. So during this, like, Lucy, like, Maine and Dorio go to like hold off Trauma Team and the police, and David gets Lucy out into the car, and at some point David's like, we got to go back and help Dorio and Maine, and Lucy is like begging him not to go, and obviously he ends up going, and Maine is now in the full blows of cyberpsychosis because at some point Dorio shields him and she gets killed. And Dorio is like Maine's Boothang, which was unexpected because I would have guessed Dyke, but not the case.
We all would have guessed.
So anyway, Maine snaps and he starts going on a rampage. But when David shows up, he kind of calms down, and like, Dorio is on top of what can only be described as a funeral pyre of like oxygen containers that Maine somehow found all over this building or stole from Trauma Team, I guess.
He just shows up and there's a fuck ton of them in a big pile. It's like, where did he get those fucking out of his ass?
Yeah, and
did they just show up?
Since Maine started attacking Trauma Team, that means Trauma Team had to report to Max TAC, which is like the military grade police. So I guess, like, what would that be? Like, I don't know.
SWAT, maybe?
SWAT team. Yeah, the SWAT team of Night City. And when Max Tack shows up, that usually means cyber psycho. So they come guns a blazing, and Maine tells him like, "Hey, this is the end of the line for me," and tells David to run. And as David is about to run, Max Tack breaks in. Maine shoots the funeral pyre. Crazy explosion. Then it cuts to Lucy in the car, and she's like constantly calling David, and he's not answering. Like she's assuming that he died. And then all of a sudden, Sandeva stands into the driver's seat, and then he just drives off. And the episode ends with like David in, like he's just looking at the camera, shocked. His hair's all fucked up because he was in an explosion. And they're just driving like outside of night. I think they're getting out of Night City, is where they're driving to. And that's how the episode ends, with David's like fucked up looking face, just staring straight at the camera.
Just fucking holding the hands of Maine, just his fucking arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a sad one.
Yeah, dude, it sucked to
Maine
see Maine
dying
go.
like that.
I was not. So I watched Cyberpunk up to episode 4 when it first came out in 22. I never finished it. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. I was not expecting Maine to die because of psychosis, dude. This one got to me. I really really liked Maine. Like he was by far my favorite character.
I agree. Yeah, he was my favorite character as well, or one of them. I feel like for me, I felt like I knew that it was going to happen through cyberpsychosis, because I think this is the episode that just kind of really shows how bad cyberpsychosis can be and what it really is. This is whenever you really find out about how it works. Basically, you go, I don't know what's the good word for it. Crazy, yeah, but like you become like schizophrenic.
But yeah, in your mind, you're seeing something completely different than what's happening.
Yeah.
And you just fucking kill people for no fucking reason.
You can't distinguish anything anymore. It's all everybody's an enemy.
Yeah.
You can't separate reality from like a dream state. And it was really sad to see Maine die like the way he did. And it really sucked that his biggest fucking supporter, David, was there. And that really fucked David up pretty heavily. So yeah, that was a sad one.
Yeah.
Anything else? Or are we going to 7?
Go on to 7, brother, unless you got something, Izzy.
All right.
No, you're good. 7.
7 is called Stronger. So after the ending scene of episode 6, when they're in the car leaving Night City, it jumps to months later, and David is basically now like the leader of the crew. He's taken on a fuck ton more implants. He's swole as a motherfucker. He's like got, Maine's hands on. He's got like new legs. He's got a bunch of new shit. And he's like now a renowned edge runner. Like he's a legend is what they call him. They were at the beginning of this episode, they're doing a new job for a new fixer called Okada. And there's no Lucy to be found. They have a new driver called Faraday, and
his name is definitely not Faraday.
Oh, not Faraday. What is his fucking name?
He's not the new driver either. He was always a cruise driver. He was briefly in episode 6 when Maine punches Kiwi. He's the one who takes Kiwi away. I can't remember his name.
So
he was briefly introduced in 6, but I don't remember his name.
Okay. Yeah, so it's basically just the driver and Rebecca, Kiwi, and David, and there's no Lucy. So after they get done from this job rescuing a VP from a gang, David's approached by Faraday, who offers him a job from Militech against Arasaka as a test to see if he's worthy of inheriting Maine's last job, which was to recover the data Tanaka was hiding. Faraday also requests that David try to recruit Lucy again. And then David returns home, and now him and Lucy are living together, and I guess they are together. And David talks with Lucy, and they basically like leave Night City, and they're going to the outskirts, and they're to go look at the stars. And Lucy reveals a lot about like her past, because David keeps asking that he wants to know more about her. And she basically like says that she was part of a special team of child net runners raised and trained by Arasaka to delve into what they call the old net to recover lost data. It was a high risk job. It was her and a bunch of other kids that were trained to do this, and it was super hazardous. A lot of them were killed going into the old net. And she was like, we instead of dying for someone else's dreams, we decided to die for our dreams. So they basically escape, and all of these kids are killed by the faculty members except Lucy, who ends up getting to a junkyard and then getting to Night City. And then Lucy in this episode kills an Arasaka agent investigating data about a test subject that was mysteriously erased from the Tanaka records. And that's basically episode 7. So it's really just the main portion of this episode was just finding out about Lucy's past and that she's going on like I don't know, like her own little mission, and she's not really working with the team no more.
Yeah, I really
And
like the lore that like the old internet, aka the internet we use today, was like completely corrupted, like so hardcore to the fact that AI is able to kill people who jack into the old internet.
yeah, it's AI and malware. Like they can
Daemons is
kill
what they
you
call
going
it.
into it.
Yeah, it was wild.
So yeah, it's really. And David said that the old net was like, like he's like, are you
One dude
talking
corrupted
about?
like 78% of it in a day or something like that.
Yeah, and he was like, are you talking about the internet that went bad 50 years ago or something like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty cool to see like some of the background information and seeing some of what Lucy did whenever before she became a crew member. Uh, any other thoughts about episode 7?
No, not
No.
Up?
really. It was
Oh, you're good.
yeah, it was interesting to learn more about Lucy, more of a world building episode again.
Yeah. So episode 8 is called Stay. So taking on Faraday's job, David goes to an Arasaka lab and kills a director. And then he is like, it starts off with like this girl coming in, like as a lab worker. She goes into like her director's office and she's like, "Hey, can I dip out early? My son just got an Arasaka Academy, and I want to do something special." He's like basically like, "Fuck off, go get a sample and then you can leave." And so she goes and gets the sample. She comes back, and his head is fucking not there no more. The director is decapitated from a bullet, and David's like sitting in the fetal position, basically in front of this guy. And she says something. He gets up and like points a gun at her, and he is like on the verge of going cyberpsychosis, and basically just fucking caps her. Um, so he believing in Militech to be involved in the mysterious deaths of Arasaka personnel, the Arasaka counterintelligence arranges an assassination attempt on Faraday, who then escapes. Due to Faraday's lack of results in recovering data on Arasaka's cyber skeleton project, Militech refuses to protect Faraday any further and decides to betray them and make contact with Arasaka instead. So he's basically double teaming them. Arasaka is willing to forgive Faraday for Tanaka's death in return for him tracking down the netrunner responsible for hiding Tanaka's data and killing their agents, which is basically Lucy and David. Meanwhile, as David's cyberpsychosis conditions are worsening, he suffers from trauma over the staff member. He's basically like getting PTSD from killing this innocent woman because whenever he's leaving, he passes by her desk and there's like a picture of her and her son who just got into the academy, and he's like getting flashbacks of his mom because he has a picture of him and her whenever he got into Arasaka Academy. So he goes to the doc and basically because he's having problems with cyberpsychosis, and he's like recommending that David scale it back on his implants, and he's like, no, fuck you, and he's like axe the doctor, and doctor ends up giving him like a prescription for blockers that are like 9 times his current daily ingestion of them, but he's like, you need to stop. And then Lucy detects another Arasaka agent looking for Tanaka's data and heads over to kill him. It turns out it's Faraday, and Faraday captures Lucy. And then, right as this episode's ending, Kiwi just kind of shows up in the background with Faraday. So you find out that Kiwi's two-timing the crew, and that's how episode 8 ends.
Yep.
This one was, yeah, dude, fuck Kiwi. All my homies fucking hate Kiwi too. This one was like a really confusing episode to some extent. Like with all the Arasaka and the Miltech and
Yeah, a
how
lot of double
Faraday is
crossing going on.
going
They had to
between
keep
them.
up
A
with.
lot of double crossing, a lot of shit happening. It's basically this episode's basically just setting up episodes 9 and 10. Yeah, that's all this really is.
Yeah, another
Uh,
very subtle foreshadowing at the beginning when Lucy's talking to Kiwi, and Kiwi's like, "You can't trust anybody in Night City."
yeah, and the thing is Kiwi is the one that brought Lucy into the crew and told her you can never trust anybody. And just for Kiwi to fucking stab her ass in the back. So, and by the way, in this episode, you see a lot of Lucy tits. Like, whenever David gets home, she's just like fucking butt ass naked all the time.
Well, I guess you
Uh,
have to be to fucking dive, because all she's doing is
I mean,
diving to
you
where
do
the
have to be
Tanaka
naked to
David.
fuck. Yeah, because like whenever you go, like whenever she goes into the net, you have to be like naked and in a cold ice bath. So every time like he comes home, she's been in the net the entire day, basically. So yeah. Any other thoughts, opinions on episode 8?
No.
Right,
Not
number
really.
9, humanity. After interrogating Lucy, Faraday and Kiwi discover that Lucy has been actively hiding Tanaka's data on David as a potential test subject for cyberskeleton, and was responsible for Tanaka's death to ensure his silence. Basically, like now they know that what Lucy saw in Tanaka before he died was that Arasaka's entire plan was to get David to basically take on this piece of hardware called a cyberskeleton. Since he had such a big tolerance, they were hoping that if anybody can withstand it, it would be him. So realizing this, Faraday plans to offer Lucy and David up to Arasaka to secure his position in the company. Faraday assigns David a mission to assault an Arasaka convoy, and to carry this out, he's aided by Kiwi, Rebecca, and Falco. Falco's the driver's name. David seizes the convoy's main cargo, which is revealed to be the cyberskeleton itself. It's like a mech-like cyberware that replaces a person's arms and legs. A Militech force then arrives, and thanks to a tip from Faraday, who intends to force David to install this cyberskeleton and use it to destroy the Militech force. Kiwi then flees because basically her job's done. Her entire job was to get David to the cyberskeleton and basically make him get into it. And so she's like, you need to get into it or we're all gonna die. And then Lucy calls him, who was hijacked by Faraday, and Lucy is unwillingly telling David, you need to get into it or we're all gonna fucking die. Right as he gets into it, Lucy calls him back after Lucy gets out of Faraday's capture, and calls him, is like, hey, that wasn't me. You don't need to get into that. And this motherfucker's at like 40% of being into the cyberskeleton. But he ends up having to go through with it because Miltech has this huge force outside waiting on him. After where was I at? Militech force arrives, thanks from a tip from Faraday, who intends to force David into it to install the cyberskeleton and use it to destroy Militech force. Kiwi, once David's in it, she flees. She's like, I'm out. As Faraday impersonates Lucy to trick him. Yeah, Lucy manages to escape and warns David about Faraday's big plan before being recaptured. Angered by the betrayal of and Lucy's capture, David uses the cyberskeleton and basically just goes fucking ham. Once he gets into the cyberskeleton and it takes him over, he jumps out of this van that was placed in, and it's basically his torso, his head, fucking he looks like a mech basically and a torso in the middle of it.
Hmm.
And he has blockers just like every time that he uses one of the implant's powers, it like shocks two blockers into him. And then it releases it and he's like fucking getting fucked up by these blockers and he just kills everybody on this Militech squad. Uh, and then after this, he tells Rebecca and Falco they need to rescue Lucy and get revenge on Faraday. So they start driving towards Arasaka's headquarters, and that's where this episode ends. Basically, on the way to Arasaka.
Hit it up, ready to go. That exosuit is a unit of a thing.
Yeah, dude, this motherfucker. I mean, he is just ripping people's bodies in halves, fucking using the his fucking spine, the what's it called?
Sandevistan.
Yeah, the Sandevistan, and with the mix of the Sandevistan and the fucking cyber skeleton, he's just like fucking pushing cars out of the way. It's taking like a huge toll on his body, and he is like on the verge of cyberpsychosis the entire time. And if it wasn't for the constant injections of blockers, then he would be fucking going crazy. Any thoughts on episode 9 before I go to 10?
No, it's a really poorly designed mech suit if you're gonna leave the main like body just exposed.
Your entire body,
Yeah.
like all of your
Ow.
main organs out in front.
It's
Yeah.
like I can't remember what it's called, but it reminds me so much of there's a mech suit in Warhammer for the Sisters of Silence, and basically like if a Sister of Silence does something that the people would think is like heretical towards the God Emperor, then they get strapped to this mech suit and they're like, "Oh, your faith will protect you. This is penance for what you did. So if you die, that's like a mech suit, basically like exactly what David looks like." And then the Sister of Silence is just hanging off the front of it, controlling it.
Yeah, they're very poorly designed.
Yeah.
Very poorly designed.
Yeah, it's like what was the thought process behind this cyber skeleton? Because I don't think
Fucking
a lot
hopefully
went
you
into
can
it.
kill. Yeah, hopefully you can kill everybody before they shoot one single bullet into your skull.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's about it. Episode 10 is called My Moon, My Man. So a lot happens in this episode. I took very poor notes on this, so cut in when you need to. After receiving the military upgrades, deteriorate like David being fucked up as he is. They're driving to Arasaka headquarters to fucking kill Faraday and save Lucy. It cuts to the Arasaka control center, basically like they're like the people that make sure the Arasaka company stays safe. They have a guy called oh fuck, what was his name?
Adam Smasher.
Adam Smasher, and he's this fucking crazy looking dude that's got a ton of implants too. And they're like, "Hey,
The only thing that's human about him
David's
left is his brain."
yeah, the like he is basically a fucking a bit. This was a well designed suit.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. They're like, you know, Kiwi is talking to Faraday. She's like, "Hey, if he lives, he's coming after us." And so Arasaka's like, you know, we have Adam Smasher here, and he's gonna kill David for us. So they, David, Kiwi, or I'm sorry, David, Rebecca, and Falco are driving towards Arasaka, and a mixture of Miltech, Arasaka, and Max Tac forces are trying to stop them. And Kiwi decides to cut ties with Faraday, of course. He calls her and is like, "Hey, I'm leaving town. I need you to send me my EDs, Eddie's. They're her money." And he's like, "No, we need to meet up at the original location, and then you can get your money." And whenever they get there, Faraday, surprise, surprise, pops Kiwi in the heart, and she calls Falco, Rebecca, and David while they're on the way to the Arasaka plant. And is basically like, you know, they have Lucy, He tagged the ship that Faraday was in, so he gives them the coordinates of where Faraday is, and she's like, I'm gonna die soon. And then of course Faraday's goons came around the corner and popped her, and she died. Not a very good death in my opinion. Kiwi deserved a way worse death than that, but I'll move on. Um, so yeah, he Faraday kills Kiwi to basically cut any loose ends regarding the skeleton because nobody's supposed to know about it. Uh, then Kiwi tips off David and the others about Faraday and Lucy's location. After running out of immunosuppressants, David attacks the tower and kills the Arasaka security to rescue Lucy. He basically just jumps in and uses he basically like moves real quick in front of Faraday, uh, like uses some weapon that he has like that pushes gravity down and makes a hole in the ground and like pushes Faraday onto the ground, and then Adam Smashers just fucking pops up behind him. Was like, hey, we're gonna fight now. So realizing the situation has spiraled out of control, the Arasaka deploys their head of security and Adam Smasher. David begins succumbing to cyberpsychosis. He picks up Lucy, jumps out the fucking window of this tall fucking building, and he is fucking going crazy. He's, teetering into cyberpsychosis. And of course, Lucy kisses him, restoring his sanity as they're falling. And Adam Smasher is on an elevator outside somehow, following them down the side of the building, shooting at him. They get down to the ground, and Faraday is thrown to his death. So during the fight, they're up in the very top floor. His body gets fucking thrown out of the building, and he fucking splats onto the ground. That was a good death.
Yes.
And then whenever Lucy and David basically make it to the ground, Rebecca and Falco are down there in the car at the bottom of the tower. They fall onto the top of the car, and David puts Lucy into the car. And Rebecca's like, "It's nice to see you again. You're doing good." And as she says that, she looks up, and Adam Smasher is falling directly on top of her and crushes her entire body and fucking kills Rebecca. Um, David then asks Falco for one more favor. Basically, you got to get Lucy out to safety. And he's going to stay behind and fight off Adam Smasher while Falco and Lucy make it out. And that's basically what happens. Lucy was still in the car. Falco gets in and drives off while David and Adam Smasher are basically fighting. It's not much of a fight because Adam Smasher basically shoots David in the gut. He falls over, and then it cuts to Lucy and Falco driving out. Yeah.
The cyber skeleton uses anti-gravity technology, so Adam Smasher like rips it off the suit, and then David's no longer able to move, and basically David basically gets crushed under the weight of the cyber skeleton, and then Adam Smasher ends up doing the final blow. But
yeah, and then the Falco explains to Lucy because Lucy's obviously like, we need to go back and get David. Falco's like, yeah, no, that's not happening. David's final wish was for me to get you out safely, and they got their payday from their mission. And he's like, we're supposed to split it 50-50. And so then it cuts basically to the moon. There's a tour bus flying over the moon. Lucy's on the tour bus, and she ended up getting to the moon. And it's so fucking sad because Lucy gets off of the bus and kind of goes out into the moon away from the tour stand that they had set up on the moon. And she's like just looking out into space, and it's showing her face and her spacesuit. And in the reflection of her visor, you can see David like in the BD from the first episode. And then it ends there. So David fulfilled Lucy's dreams of taking her to the moon.
Oh,
Gotta say, like top fucking 10 saddest endings of all time.
Yeah, there is no happy ending in this show, unfortunately.
No, besides Lucy making it to the moon, that's the only happiness
I'm
because
curious,
David's dead.
though, what they're planning because the second season's supposedly coming. So I
no.
wonder if
There's another season coming.
supposedly. So my
More sad, more gruesome, and just more
More
crazy.
tits. Fucking didn't
so
think we were gonna see Lucy's tits, but we got to see a lot of it.
the original like this Edge Runner stuff is all like anime original. This wasn't thought up by the creator, I don't believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. But
No, this was an original. Yeah.
I'm wondering if the second season is going to be like what the game actually was, or like the beginning of the game, because the whole lore that the creator set up was the first quote unquote edge runner that really made a name for himself was a guy named Johnny Silverhand. So I'm wondering if it's going to be that story.
Yeah. And this anime was awesome. Great watch. Do suggest it. Of course, our notes don't capture everything that happened. It won a fuck ton of awards. It won fucking IGN Best Anime, Crunchyroll Anime of the Year, Best Original Screenplay, Best Sci-Fi, Best Voice Artists.
Dang.
Japan, it won a bunch of Japan Expo awards for Best Anime, Best Director, Best Action. It won a lot of stuff.
Do you?
So
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, everything we've covered so far has been worth watching, except fucking Assassin. But
Assassin.
uh,
And yeah.
Till the season 2 comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, yeah, we got to give season 2. Dude, it may fucking just be phenomenal.
Who knows?
Anime of the year, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe. there's not a 0% chance of that happening.
Right. I did like the intro song to this anime, or the theme song
the entire
to
the entire soundtrack, all of the fucking music was very well crafted and put together very well.
it. Mhm.
Yeah, it had a great soundtrack as well. I really liked it.
Yep.
Though I didn't really listen to the outro.
Do you still have the wheel?
No, I do not, but I can make it again.
Well, do you want to replace an option since yours got chosen, or do we just want to get
Yeah, we
all
can.
the ones off the wheel first? Or how about
we
Izzy,
can-
you give me another option, so that way, and then so if Jake's gets picked, Izzy gets the next option. If Izzy's gets picked, I'll do an option. If mine gets picked, Jake, you throw in the next option. You know what I'm saying? So it keeps rotating.
Oh, okay.
So originally we all had 3, but now Izzy, you're gonna have 4. I'll still have 3, and Jake will have 2, and we'll keep going like that until we're just out of ideas, I guess.
Okay, so what is so are we just I don't remember the original animes. Do you
Until
have
Izzy
those?
gives his next option, the list is Konosuba, 17 through 26.
Okay.
Chinibio, Mashal, Riddle Story,
I'll take those 2.
Parasite.
Riddle Story?
Yeah, we just put Riddle Story. It's Riddle Story of Devil, but Parasite and Uncle from Another World.
Great one. Okay.
All right, Izzy, you got one to throw in
Alrighty.
there now. Hold on, we got one more coming.
Yep.
It can be anything. Just pick something.
Samurai Champloo.
Oh shit! I hope that wins.
Oh, all right. Okay, do you want me to show my screen?
You can if you want.
Sure.
Are you ready to rumble?
Go for it.
Let's do it.
I spelled Chinibio wrong.
So we got,
All right.
Chinibio.
That's a great
that
one.
was mine.
That's fine.
Pretty sure.
Hey, eventually
Okay,
we'll get to the point where you have no options.
Fair enough.
I am not saying no to
So it is what 2 seasons long. I think are they 12
I can't remember
episodes?
if this one's broken up by by 12, or if this one is just a straight up 24. Because if it's 24, we'll just do the first 12, and if we like it enough, we'll do the next ones.
Let's see here. Looks like
Okay, so it is a 2-season, it looks like.
yeah, it's 2 seasons. Looks like it is 12 episodes piece or
Yep.
13.
First
13.
one's 12 at least.
Okay. So yeah, I guess we'll do season 1 Chinibyo next week.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yep, but yeah, both seasons are 12 episodes, so we'll do that. Ed, do you want to do top 10 animes? Izzy, did you do your 10 animes?
10 enemies. No, I think I got 5.
Oh, we can do 5. We can cut it down to
Um,
5. I'll just do my. We can do the.
Yeah,
Or we
I
can
can do. I
save
mean,
it.
I have my
We can
top 10
keep pushing
made.
it back. That's fine.
Okay. All right. I
You
know
want to
this
go
season
last?
isn't the best one. No.
Okay.
I know this season isn't the best one so far. I've seen a lot of community input, and I think they're like redoing the whole season. But One Punch Man has to be up there for me. Just a great
Okay.
show, a lot of characters, a lot of different abilities, and just how the story plays out with Saitama and him being just so OP. It's a great show. Next one, Mob Psycho, made by the same people, animated by the same people, anyways. Um, Good story of, I guess just maturing and learning about yourself. Fun story, cool powers, a lot of comedy in it. AOT,
Mm.
I'm gonna put that as number 2. It's just
Okay.
so rich, such a suspenseful story, and so many curves and bends that it just has you like holding on the whole time. It's such a great show. So much action. Then I'll go number 3. I'm gonna do Hunter x Hunter. I really wish it was still an ongoing one, like currently. Like I know there's still stuff coming out for it, but if it were a longer anime, I think it would just be amazing because there's so much they can build off of it. And then number 1 being the one that's ending currently is My Hero Academia.
Boo.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Travis.
All right. So in order, number 1, Bleach. Number 2, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Number 3,
Oh,
Soul Eater. Number 4, Freyren. Number 5, Code Geass. Number 6 is Jobless Reincarnation. Number 7 is Overlord. Number 8 is Helsing Ultimate. Number 9 is AOT. And 10, which could easily be number 1 on anybody's list, is Domestic Girlfriend.
All right. So my number 1, this was actually really hard for me to put number 1 and number 2. I didn't know which one to do, but I ended up doing number 1 as Soul Eater.
Nice.
hey.
1 Soul Eater, 2 Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, fucking awesome. 3 AOT, 4 I did ReZero. Subaru, who is Rim? 5 is Frieren. 6 is Charlotte because I love that fucking anime. 7 is Machiine. I fucking love too many losing heroines. Fuck you. 8
That's
is
a good show.
Chunibyo. 9 is Mushoku Tensei. And 10, hot take. I enjoyed the entire thing. Vinland Saga.
Oh,
Wow.
dang.
Everybody did not
Okay.
like season 2, but season 2 is actually pretty good. I liked it. So there's
Nice.
my top 10. And Oda.
Hell yeah. All right,
Nice.
boys. Well, that seems like a good place to call it. Anything, closing thoughts?
Um,
Don't take our notes as fucking go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Take
oh
our
yeah.
notes with a grain of salt.
Yeah, this podcast is more like a supplementary product to the episodes instead of this isn't like a hey, go watch it because you watched the podcast, because obviously we talk about the ending on every episode, but I don't know. We still don't know how to format this yet. So
Go watch our notes, or don't do any of these animes a justice. Just go fucking watch it. It's great.
yep.
Right.
That's my closing statement. Oh, and what's going on, Felix?
Oh hell yeah. Shout out to Felix.
Yeah.
Shout out, Fifi.
All right, boys.
And that's
Well,
it.
we will see y'all next week with Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions. Peace.